Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Gourmet Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Just got a little afternoon show for you guys and gals. We're going to give you an update on Micah Parsons as he is at practice. We'll show you some footage of him out there on the practice field along with Matthew Golden. But more importantly, we're getting an update from Adam Schefter via the Pat McAfee show earlier today, where they talk about Micah Parsons and that back injury. I know there's still some Packer fans that are a little concerned. Hey, was the back actually hurt? Was it something that it was more of a negotiating tactic while he was still in Dallas? We'll give you everything that we know on that. We'll hear from Adam Schefter and see exactly what he's hearing around that and whether or not Micah will play on Sunday versus the Lions. We'll also, like I said, give you a little bit of practice footage. So before we do that, if you would, do that YouTube stuff for me. Hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your afternoon. Listen, we're not experts here. We're not insiders. We are not media members. We are fans just like you, talking Packers on the daily, doing pregame shows, postgame shows, in-depth analysis, film breakdown, injury updates, the whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for daily Packers content, make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you click that bell icon so you're notified every time we do go live like right now. So let's get to it. This was Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show just a few moments earlier today. They were talking about Micah Parsons and the back injury. And obviously Pat and the crew, they do an awesome job. Just got this video off of Twitter as the McAfee show tweeted it out. So make sure you go give a follow there at Pat McAfee show. Here we go. Here's Adam Schefter on the McAfee show talking about Micah Parsons and that back injury that's still got some Packer fans concerned.
Any word on what the Packers' plans are for his usage going into Sunday against the Lions?
Well, they have not committed to using him yet on Sunday.
Okay.
Again, I'll say this. As a general rule, if you're getting $188 million, I would be surprised if he's not out there on Sunday. Now, they want to make sure that back feels okay this week. Let's remember he hasn't gone through camp at all, hasn't participated in any of the drills. He's been working off to the side. So obviously there's going to be a conditioning level. We'll see whether he can play the whole game. But I'm going to guess he is out there. I'm going to guess he is a factor. And you bring up the numbers, right? He's wearing number 1. The last time Curly Lambeau wore that number was 100 years ago. 100 years. We haven't seen a Packer in that number in 100 years. That's pretty incredible to me. 1926 was the last time a Packer wore number 1.
Curly Lambeau's a G, though.
He is.
Yeah, Curly Lambeau got into some shit. Curly Lambeau, I did a little research on him as I was going to call, I think, the Lions-Packers game about where it was, why it was. He's founder of the Packers, basically, and this dude is a dog.
Curly?
Yeah, Curly Lambeau is a dog. Everybody knows Lambeau Field. Curly Lambeau started the Packers, I do believe. And there's some things that happened where he had to be really,
Stand on business.
What position he play?
All of them.
Yeah, he wore number 1. I think he was star position.
All of them.
Yeah,
They made him serve popcorn. Ball handler.
I just research.
0 would have been sick, though.
I think so too, and I don't love Matthew Golden wearing 0. I think you got a speedster receiver.
Golden 1 too.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then Micah becomes the first player ever to wear 0 for the Packers. Like he's a Packer forever, probably.
Curly Lambeau, fullback, quarterback, and kicker.
Yeah,
Bang.
whatever you need.
Of course.
Head coach.
That's Curly Lambeau football.
That's right.
And we're expecting the same out of Micah. It is amazing his back is healed. I'm excited to see. They haven't said if he's going to go or not. I would assume. I saw him bouncing around his house.
Yep.
I think he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think he's ready to
He
go.
ain't get blown up there.
The
And even
house
if he's
was
He looked
ready.
fast.
Pack, pool drain.
Yeah.
Mulligetta, let him know.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
we're not going back to Dallas. You can go ahead and be pretty confident about that entirety. We have tried to get David Mulligetta on the program. We think tomorrow we'll get a chance to chat with him. We'll be excited to go.
All right, so there you go. Like I said, it was Adam Schefter on the McAfee show. It sounds like they may get David Mulligetta. That's obviously Jordan Love's agent. That's also Micah Parsons' agent. The super agent in today's NFL. There's no two ways about it. So I feel like that's great news. I want to know what everybody thinks in the comments. Let me know. Are you still concerned about Micah Parsons' back? Do you think he's going to be good to go on Sunday? I've been pretty vocal. I feel like he's going to be good to go. Now, how many snaps will he play? That's the big question. I think he'll be out there. You got to understand, he's used to playing a ton of snaps, just like most edge defenders are. Green Bay is somewhat unique, but they've got this heavy rotation at edge defender. So I think what we're personally used to as Packer fans in terms of edge defenders and how many snaps they play, I think this is going to just kind of feel like a normal game right now as he gets completely healthy, aka accustomed to the scheme and back in football shape as he's obviously been holding out. You may see him play a few more snaps than normally we see edge defenders play because he is built a little different. He's a little bit lighter, right? I want to say he's around 240. I could be wrong there. And also you may be playing him at stack backer a little bit, especially at Sam in the base 4-3. So it might be something where he gets a few extra snaps as the season goes along, playing alongside Edger and Cooper when they need to spell Quay out at stack backer. There may be some of that going on. So you're definitely going to be looking to get your the most bang for your buck money-wise or snaps-wise, given the contract there with Micah. And like we had said, we've seen Micah Parsons on the practice field earlier today. And I want to give a shout out to everybody in the Green Bay sports media who's putting the clips out over on X. This clip here comes from, let's see, Matt Schneidman with The Athletic. You could see Micah Parsons working the sled, looking good as Matt Schneidman tweets out, #1 Micah Parsons. Really, really excited to see this guy get on the football field. As you can see, watch how he attacks the sled too. It's not just most guys you see them drive the sled, release it, and shed. Watch how he's kind of attacking. He's attacking the sled. He almost climbs up the sled with his hands. He's an absolute animal. This guy's going to be a lot of fun watching rushing off the edge, throwing that thing to the side. And I love seeing LVN behind him in the rep. You see Brenton Cox Jr. There's other clips we've got of Micah Parsons at practice. That's the other byproduct of bringing in an icon type player, right? Someone of a much higher level than we're used to at that specific position is you've got him. Yes, he's going to help Rashawn Gary on the opposite side. He's going to take attention away from Rashawn Gary, who's been chipped a ton. A lot of the Gary haters don't want to talk about that. So now they've got to decide, do we chip Gary? Do we chip Parsons? They're obviously going to fan toward Parsons on pass rushing downs, and they'll probably look to get some extra help on run plays to Gary's side. And you know what? The reality is that's going to tip the hand of the offense to a certain extent as well. So there's a lot of different factors that adding Micah Parsons really does come into play. But again, remove the Rashawn Gary conversation for a minute. Lucas Van Ness, Brenton Cox Jr., Kingsley Enagbare, Baron Sorrell, our 4th-round pick, they're going to get to learn how to be a speed rusher from Micah Parsons while also learning how to use power from Rashawn Gary. Right? Rashawn Gary is kind of the quintessential run-stopping edge defender in the National Football League right now. Well, they're going to learn that aspect of their game from Rashawn Gary while learning how to speed rush, use their hands, use their feet, get that body lean, taking the edge from a Micah Parsons. I think it's just absolutely awesome. You've got two dogs at the most important position on defense, that and 3-tech, of course. You got two dogs teaching these young whippersnappers how to play the edge position there on defense. Got a couple other clips here. This one I think came out from Kyle Malzahn, and I just tweeted it out. And you see Rashawn Gary, as we had mentioned, alongside Brenton Cox Jr. on this rep, and they're just kind of working, getting off the ball. And you could see, man, Micah Parsons is in great shape. I mean, that dude, there's not an ounce of fat on his body. He's quick off the snap. Look at the quads too. Notice the quads. He's built like a taller running back, essentially. You know, he kind of reminds me of how A.J. Dillon was built when he was here. Look at the quads on this guy. So he's in great shape. That's why I'm not concerned with the back injury. I'm not concerned with him getting up to speed. I think Micah Parsons is going to be just fine as we get closer to kickoff here on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. Got another clip. This one comes in from Ryan Wood over on X. Make sure you go give him a follow at by Ryan Wood on X. He points out here in this clip, as they are inside the practice facility now, Ryan Wood tweeted out, Rasheed Walker, Micah Parsons' college teammate at Penn State, spent some time saying hello during stretch. Between playing with Walker and sharing an agent with Jordan Love and Xavier McKinney, Parsons has a lot of familiarity with the Packers locker room. Guys, we talk about this. You know, it's easy to get caught up in the day of playing Madden, right? And it's all about how good is this player, what's his rating. and that's going to determine how well he plays on the field. There's a lot of things that go into play here. And one of the things is obviously that locker room chemistry where you got a guy in Rasheed Walker he played with. I think it's awesome that in practice when the ones go versus the ones, you're going to see Micah Parsons going up one-on-one against his old college teammate Rasheed Walker, one of the best pass blocking tackles in the game. You know, we talk about how the young players behind Micah Parsons are going to get to learn what it is to be a hybrid linebacker, a speed rush and outside edge defender at the same time. He's kind of that 2-in-1 build, right? And it's going to make those young edge rushers better. But take into consideration how Rasheed Walker now is going to get that extra, what am I trying to say here? Quality of reps in practice going up against a player like Micah Parsons. That's absolutely huge. Think back to when we drafted Jair Alexander, how beneficial it was for him to go up one-on-one against Davante Adams in practice to cover him, right? And when you got those two top-tier players, those tier 1 players that are going up against each other, iron sharpens iron. Well, now you're going to get that aspect with Micah Parsons lining up over Rasheed Walker. And then when the twos are out there and they kick Jordan Morgan over to left tackle, guess what? Jordan Morgan's going to get some really, really quality practice reps going up against Micah Parsons at left tackle when he's in that role as well. So it's absolutely huge. Maybe they'll move Parsons around and you'll get some extra reps with him over Tom. I think that'll make Parsons a little better as well because Tom is one of, if not the best right tackles in all of the NFL today. So that's going to come into play. And then when you roll your backup right tackle, which we're expecting to be in Anthony Belton, your second-round pick this year, Micah Parsons is going to make that guy better. The same thing with Rashawn Gary lining up over those guys. You know, we just got through talking about how Davante Adams and Jair Alexander made each other better for so long, right? Well, I wonder why Zach Tom is so well-rounded at right tackle. Could it be that he's had to line up against Rashawn Gary here in recent years, right? That's going to help craft him into a better football player as well. Just something to take into consideration that's why it's important, the familiarity that we just talked about, you know, multiple players having the same agents, you know, multiple players having these different connections, man. It really, really means something here. And shout out to Matt Schneiden, photo day for the Packers, new guy going to take his headshot. So they're going to get that headshot for the game or for the season here. And you see Micah, guys, listen, I don't want to sound like a weirdo here, but if we pause it, this dude's in football shape. I'm sorry. He is absolutely shredded. And let's do a full body breakdown here. Let's geek out a little bit and be really weird. Notice the pecs. Notice the waistline. Look at the biceps. This dude is ready to play football on Sunday. Now, the question is, how quick can he get acclimated to what Jeff Hafley wants to do against those Detroit Lions? And we're going to give you all a full breakdown of that later on this evening, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. We're going to be giving you a PFF breakdown. We're going to show you how the Lions offensive lineup stacks up against the Packers defense. We're going to show you how the Packers defense or the Packers offense lines up against the Lions defense and kind of give you from a PFF standpoint, how do they match up? We covered last night. If you missed that, you can go back and look at the early Packers Lions preview we did on last night's live stream, where we showed you the betting line. We showed you how the quarterbacks match up. We showed you the power rankings according to PFF. This game right now, the Packers are 2.5-point favorites, which essentially at home, you typically grab 3 points. That would make it a half-point favorite. If you remove the home field advantage, a half-point favorite for the Lions. Guys, this is a pick'em game. This is going to be an absolute freaking slobber knocker come Sunday afternoon at Lambeau Field. And again, Micah to me looks like he is in great shape. He's ready to go here for the season/home opener for the Green Bay Packers. I'll tell you somebody else that looks like he's ready to roll, and that's Agent Zero himself. As you guys can see, Matthew Golden. Here's the first look at him wearing the number 0. This was tweeted out by Matt Schneiden. Again, just take a look at our boy Matthew Golden as a rookie. Look at the veins in the calf muscles. This guy isn't just a smaller wide receiver. You know, people were saying that. I'd rather have Tet McMillan. And Tet McMillan, I think, is going to be a great player. Don't take that the wrong way. Jaden Higgins is going to be a great player. Trey Harris, I think he's got everything it takes to be a great player. But when we drafted Matthew Golden, people were like, well, he's kind of undersized. This guy is thick. He'll remind you of a Steve Smith Sr., which, by the way, Steve Smith Sr. handpicked Matthew Golden to be his best wide receiver in this draft. And when you look at how he's built, he's kind of built like Steve Smith. Little smaller in stature, although I think he's actually taller than Steve Smith. He's just thick. He's built right. You could tell that he's not overly muscular, but I feel like he's built to withstand a little bit of punishment when going over the middle, as you can see here running the slant route. Notice the feet now, guys. Look, this is poetry in motion. Matthew Golden is looking like an absolute animal in his footwork. His hands have been excellent through camp and the preseason, and you just see, man, he's one that I'm expecting day one to be out there lined up in the Z, maybe interchanging into the slot, the F position, as well as Jayden Reed might need a little bit of spelling, a little bit of a break coming off the field. We know he's battling that Jones fracture in his foot. So going to be really, really exciting to see. You actually see Jayden Reed come into the frame here at the end. I just noticed that. Let's see in the background. That's Jayden Reed holding the football, obviously dapping up our boy Matthew Golden here at the end, if we can get it back to that frame. Yeah, you can see right there. So you see Dobby out there on the field as well. Really excited about that duo there. So what you're going to have in Matthew Golden, in my opinion, you're going to have him playing the Z, speed to Z, right? You're going to have Jayden Reed in the slot as long as he's healthy. You'll have Romeo Doubs in the boundary X and probably playing field X as well. You'll have Tucker Kraft starting at Y. We may press into 12. We're going to give you all the practice updates a little bit later this evening, as I think Savion Williams returned to practice. So maybe he'll be looking to get some snaps at X. I believe Dontavion Wicks, they're planning on him being healthy with the calf injury for week one as well. So you'll probably see him a little bit out there at X. He can also play the slot behind Jayden Reed. Really, really, really liking how this offense is stacking up, along with obviously the addition of Micah Parsons, Jeff Hafley year 2. He's already been very, very vocal. Hafley has that, hey, look, the install is complete. We're good to go there. We've already got the second phase, meaning when offenses adjust to what Jeff Hafley has in store, opening up the season here, he's already got the adjustment ready, and I'm sure that the guys are already up to speed on that adjustment as well. So we're going to talk about all tonight, guys. 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. I'll have the guys in the studio with me. We're going to be talking everything from Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary, how they look lining up over this Detroit Lions offensive line. We'll talk about Matthew Golden and Romeo Doubs along with Jayden Reed, how they stack up against the nickel defense of the Detroit Lions, who are a little banged up at defensive tackle, worth mentioning there. Obviously, they still got Kirby Joseph in the secondary. They've got a solid team, man. This is going to be just the absolute perfect way to kick off the Packers 2025 season. Packers, Lions at Lambeau Field, 3:30 kickoff. Right about the time that the shadow starts to cast across Lambeau Field, as the shadows are getting longer this time of year. We're about to step right into fall. There's a little crispness in the air. If that's a word, I don't know if it is down here in Tennessee. I know it is up there in Titletown as well. So I'm really excited, man. It's going to be a blast. Make sure you guys join us tonight. Hit subscribe, hit like, click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live. Like I said, we'll be going live at 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, this is PTA. My name's Clayton. Go Pack, go.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.